Kumbaya moments will never last in this country. They will never last in this city. They will never last in the suburb. And I'm sad about that. I go around expecting normal because I treat people normally as just people. Anyway, we had we had ended the week well the other time, right? With the lemonade girl. She was cute, she was sweet. Her parents are raising her right. Well, I'm gonna get today out of the way and then we'll focus on our week and what how our week has been like. So we come back from a blood test. I've taken my son, Micaiah, for a blood test. There are some there are some vitamins and supplements that researchers have found help with certain aspects of autism and ADHD, behavioral, cognitive, affect their emotions, things like that. So, though I can't afford to put them on high doses, as high as what the researchers have found is useful, I have been trying to do my best. But iron is expensive, especially if you're buying it for 4 children every single, yeah, for them to use every single day. Our daughter was borderline low iron, so she was already on iron supplements, which means the medical aid pays for her iron, or at least some of her iron, which then reduces costs. So I wanted my son, my 8-year-old, to also get his iron checked as well. So we come from that blood test. As I pull into the shopping center, I'm driving behind a white SUV and it pulls into a disabled parking bay. So I get into the next disabled parking bay, and there are 3 disabled parking bays to my left. Everything's fine. I collect my bag, get my phone into my bag, tell my son, okay, you must come out this way, unbuckle yourself. She needs lots of direction and instructions. And I come out. I'm about to open his door to get him out of his car seat. And this brunette woman, who I now assume, or I assumed, came out from the white car. In the white car were a lot of blonde people, maybe 3, 4, 5 blonde people in the SUV looking at me. I ignored them. I opened the back door to get my son out, and this brunette was seemingly with them. She's looking at her phone and she says, you do know you're in the disabled parking bay. That's for wheelchairs only. She wasn't making eye contact with me. She wasn't asking me a question. She didn't greet me. All she's doing is telling me that I'm in a disabled parking bay, which I kind of knew. And then she just disappeared just like that, because I didn't answer her. I just looked at her and I was thinking, are you a fool? So I left her. I proceed to get my son out the car. I don't tell him what's going on. I close his door as we then come out between the cars to go into the pharmacy, because you know we were going to the pharmacy to collect some of our chronic medication, because you know we are sick. We'll forever be sick. So I'm going in towards the pharmacy, Dis-Chem, Tableview Shopping Center. And that same brunette woman is talking to the security guard, and I just heard her say, da 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 da. So I couldn't hear every word except parking, wheelchair. So he then told her, you must go to the shopping center guard. I just work for Dis-Chem. And I thought, oh my word, this woman is so cooked in the head. She can't abide my being parked next to her, that she's going to get me sorted out for the principal, just because of the principal, not because there's no space, not because no, she can't park, because I've taken all the spaces. There are many open spaces, but she is the righteous defender of the country. South Africa is only for certain people and everybody must abide by her laws, and she won't even care to actually speak to me as a human. I walked on past. I didn't say anything to the guard. I kept walking in. We go and we queue in the collection aisle. I mean, in the collection queue. There were only 2 people ahead of me. We wait, then as I'm getting my medication, as I'm waiting for it to come, the colored security guard now comes. She's the mall woman. And she says to me, "Excuse me, are you the woman who parked in the disabled parking bay?" I said, "Yes, I am." I'm not going to give her anything. They must talk. So I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "You're going to have to move your car." And I was thinking, oh, so she didn't go and check if my car has the handicapped sticker visible and displayed. She just assumed what Karen said and comes to find me in the shop, in the pharmacy, passes all those aisles out of righteous indignation because whatever Karen says is always correct and Karen must be catered to. So I said to her, "No, I'm not moving my car. Did you see my handicapped sticker? Did you see my parking disc? Oh, you have one." So I'm like, "Yes." If she had bothered to ask me, well, because then she said, "Oh, well, we received a complaint." She didn't even excuse herself for believing Karen. That is the sad thing. We will believe the Karens of the world even without evidence. Yet they're liars, either by mistake or because they're on a witch hunt, and whatever they said about the criminal is true. So I said to her, "Yes, it's right there and it's very visible." I ignored her. I wanted her to go waste her time because she didn't bother speaking to me. She didn't ask me any questions. So I let her go on her own crusade. So she left. I got my stuff, bought some things, go out and pay. Karen's sisters, mothers, cousins, whatever, are still in the car next to mine. I just glanced at them a bit, got into my car, deliberately moved my parking disc from where it is, nicely displayed on the dashboard, and put it into the side of my door, and proceeded to go home. Where unfortunately, these instances don't just wash off like water off a duck's back. I hate the assumption. I hate that she couldn't see it within her to think I'm a human and speak to me as you would to another human. I hate that she thinks she is the policeman of this city, maybe of this country. And I hate that the Tableview Shopping Center security guard believed her first without checking. Everyone here is at fault except me, the one sick, chronically ill, degenerative, diseased person. That is out the way now. Cape Town will never be free. Cape Town will never be free of hatred and prejudice and malice. It really won't. I hope Karen and her family, I hope they move to Orania. They will be very welcomed there. Now onto our week. I won't go into our week. School was the normal school. There's nothing, outstanding about the school work that we did. Nothing that you can get any tips from. It's the usual stuff. So if you are an ADHD or autism parent or global developmental delay parent or visual perception parent, what we did this week is what we've done the other weeks. Same kinds of things. The tracking with eyes. My 9-year-old is still struggling to track, to keep her eyes focused. She's struggling more than my 8-year-old son. I've said it before, when he speaks a full sentence, grammatical generally, it makes sense. But what he's saying, what he's asking are not what he means or what he's thinking, and we don't know how to understand what he's thinking, nor how to get him to know what is truth and what is right. Okay, example. He asks me today, Thursday, "Mom, Why is it that you don't teach us how to read during school time? I think you all know that, but especially my daughter, you've seen some of her books. It's reading. I've shown you some of my son's typing, seeing as he also has dysgraphia. So writing has been put off the list and he has to type. You've seen him spelling. How can he spell things he's never read? And he's actually been literally reading. I've asked him, what does this word say? And he'll tell me cat. This one, pig. This one, dig. This one, tub. But those are the most recent ones. And I thought, now imagine if someone else asked my son, so what are you doing in school? What are you learning? Are you learning to read? He will cheerfully and innocently lie. He will say, no, mom isn't teaching us to read. And And just the few lessons later, he even didn't only just read a word or three words, he read a whole sentence. And I said to him, see, my boy, that was learning how to read. I didn't even have to teach you because you can already read the words. In fact, they've got a new word, which is the, because everything else has been phonetic, back, that. So now it's the, that is the new word. He has been learning to read. Both my children, people like to say, no, my daughter is not intellectually impaired, she's actually fine. It's just that the disorders get in the way. Both of them, I know, well, we all agree my son is intellectually impaired. But it's scary because I don't know what they're saying, how they're presenting us to outsiders. And outsiders, as we saw with the psychiatrist thing, will always believe the child. Anything you say, you're just trying to defend yourself in their eyes. So that was just one of those sad things where, again, I was reminded what I'm saying to my son isn't landing. What I'm teaching, he's not actually learning. I don't know what his brain is interpreting everything as or into. I have no clue, except at least he knows how to read. The cat, he knows how to read whatever he knows how to read. So those are the things. Today I'm going to focus more on how autism, ADHD, global developmental delay, low muscle tone have played an impact on our schooling. My daughter, Nene, it's interesting. She's challenging, but also scary. Her memory is so prodigious that it scares all of us. We're just shocked at the things she can remember and how quickly she remembers and how she mixes and links facts together. Just like the whole tree thing and the Bible thing, where she will see a tree and remember Nathaniel sat under a fig tree from the Bible story, or she'll go out after watching a nature video that I've recorded for them and she'll say, Mom, we're looking at the flowers. God made the flowers, God made the beauty. She will recite, but that memory, she is one of those autistics who does have that very good memory. We're not used to that. One of the big signs for me that my children had ADHD was their memory problems, which is understandable. Most ADHD does manifest in memory issues and impulsivity at the same time. She definitely has ADHD, but the autism memory thing it's winning the battle. It really is. Case in point, we have tried to teach our children their birthdays. Everyone teaches their children their birthdays. My almost 10-year-old, my almost 9-year-old can't tell you when their birthdays are. Well, in the last month, Amarissa has remembered, my 9-year-old turning 10. Micaiah, turning 9 next month, can't remember his birthday. He will say 27 something. Now, Amarissa is 27 December, but he is 24 September. He can't remember that, and we've been working on this for years. He can't remember his birthday. Thankfully, he can at last remember his address. I'm happy about that. He knows his address, though you have to pull it out of him, but he knows his address, and yeah. So that's the positive. So, but my point is, for many years now of educating this younger bunch, I've dealt with below average. So now you bring my 4-year-old who's not below average in terms of intellect and memory, and it shocks us all. I told her just once, look, here are the months of the year on a poster, and so's birthday. That's the thing. I wasn't just telling her birthday. I was telling her everybody's birthday. So and so's birthday is in June. This one is in. These two are in July. This one is in September. This one, you and yours twin are in October. Amy is in December. Just so she kind of understands there are 12 months in a year. And then we start again at January, which my almost 10-year-old didn't even understand. Though we've discussed it, she doesn't yet understand that the first month of the year is January. That has kind of been our school life. Insights into struggles. So yes, we discussed birthdays, and the next thing I know, my daughter, the very next day, she's saying, Mommy, my birthday's in October. Yay! And she goes off and she starts singing to herself. And I said, yes, you and Rati, because you're twins. And she goes and she starts singing to her about the birthday, October, a word which was foreign to her. And somehow she grasped it and remembered that her birthday is in October. That must be her birthday. Again, for real? Happy birthday to lucky me. Happy birthday to. It is weird. It is strange because at the same time, she is so hard to manage. I'll be sitting there teaching, and I'll tell her, okay, be quiet now. Amy needs to do some timed speed reading. She'll be quiet for 5 words. And then, Mommy, it's just like, please. The last time she did that, I actually sent her to her room the next time so that I could begin teaching first the older two, because she is like that. I can't do anything without her interrupting. It's constant interruption. She'll get up from what she's doing, which she's meant to be doing, and come around and watch other people's stuff. Or when they're still reading a sentence, she'll then point to another word on a different line and say, this says man. We're trying to do school. This is not how school works. Even my children, before they were medicated, they didn't do that. They didn't go that far with their impulsivity, and the PDA is hectic, pathological demand avoidance. I know they've got some other name for it now. They say they don't want the word pathological. It is hard to handle a child who is not being rebellious, but is being very difficult at the same time. I'll tell her, okay, trace this. She'll trace the next page, but not what I've told her to trace. Or she will trace and then just suddenly just randomly scribble. Or if she's going to color in the item that begins with C out of a picture of 3, she will identify, yes, that one is the one that starts with the K. But then she will color all 3. Even when she understands, she must only color the one. It's a constant clash of wills. It is hard. How do I then give myself to the 2 others who still need me to read with them and for them? You can't. My son this week has been struggling. I don't know if he needs a higher dose of his ADHD medication, because, it's not the highest he can have, I think. But I will say to him, Mickey, you need to circle out of these 3 pictures on each row, 2 pictures that are the same, and he will color them in. Or I will say you need to put an X on something, and he will underline it. It's not been this bad in a long time. And of course, that then bleeds into normal life. I used to say back when my teens were small that I can't wait until they're old enough to be sent, so that then I know they'll be old enough to go get their own things and just to help around the house. They're 9 and 8 the next set, and there's no sending that you can do. Instead, you are picking up after them. You are sorting out their mess. I went out behind the house the other day to the washing line. My daughter Amarissa had dumped her gown, her nightgown, by the by my bathroom window. I don't even know why. Why would she take her gown off outside anyway and then leave it there? She doesn't play there. She doesn't actually, not that I know of, she doesn't go outside in the with her gown on. Well, now this week there have been. Or I go to the other window and she's thrown underwear out the window. It's something, always something that you have to fix. Shoes have been left out in the rain. Socks have been left in the dew. That's what it's been like. So yes, my rheumatologist was right that I should be not teaching anymore. I really need to stop. But there are other aspects of special needs parenting that are also strenuous. That, the picking up of the gowns. If I say, Micaiah, please take this cup to the sink, he will forget. You'll leave it where it was and just go off and play. So why bother then? And that's just one sentence. You know, they always tell you, shorten each instruction, don't make it a long list. But if they can't even obey that one instruction, it's hopeless. It's been mentally taxing. I'll describe last Sunday. Last Sunday, in the morning, no, yeah, at 1 a.m. I heard noise. I thought, please no. I've just barely finally gotten to sleep and now there's noise. So I pretended it wasn't there. At 2 a.m. I said, okay, mister, wake up. The twins are up. Well, I heard one, but I wasn't sure if I wasn't actually hearing the other. They sleep in different rooms, separated by another room. And in that room are Amarissa and Eliora. So it's one twin, the two girls, and the other twin. And yet, when he opened the door to go, both children were up and noisy and happy. It's good they're happy, but when do we ever rest? Especially me. My husband will come and lock himself up and nap. I can't do that. If both of us are napping, who's mothering? So that was the thing. That was how the morning was. 2 a.m. The children are both up, very happy, very perky. Then the screaming began when it was time now at 7 o'clock to begin the day. Screaming from this child who wanted to only wear this particular outfit, crying from that child because he doesn't want to be told to go shower. And that's the problem. It's always things that are causing the crying, things that shouldn't be distressing, but they are. And so Micaiah will cry because he was told to go bath, or he will lie in bed and not go bath. And then the teens are like, go and bath, go and bath. They're not going to listen. They don't listen to them. So then there's that noise. So there's that, and I tried to sleep again. So there's that, there's the child who's crying and screaming. There's the other child who was upset because her nose was blocked. They all have been sick. It was chaotic. It was chaotic. And I couldn't rest. I had to get up. I had to put the laundry into the washing machine. I had to see who had weed through. I had to medicate. I had to give this one the mood medication, that one her her ADHD medication. This one I must give her the clothes because if she keeps her clothes, she destroys them. It's not easy. It is not an easy life being the parent of special needs children. It's not easy being the parent who all the children rely on. It's not easy being the on the ball parent, the only one who knows who takes what medication, who takes which supplement at what time. I'm the only one. It's all on me. Coughing or not, It's all on me. I'm wearing a mask because I was so scared that it'll make me sick. My next injection is this coming Tuesday. And as you know, because it suppresses your immune system, which is attacking you, you must not inject if you're sick because then your body will not be able to fight the sickness. So I've been counting down. But I still, and my body is in a flare. Like as I sit here, even my ribs attaching to my sternum are aching and aching. Special needs parenting has not been easy. It's been fun. We've had moments of joy. I read to them, I read stories to them, they remember the stories. Memory is improving for those two, but we're still struggling with left and right. 10 years old, 9 years old, they've tried, the therapist has tried, no can do. It's challenging. It's sad. It's tiring. But I love it because there are moments of just pure and love. Love. I hope you've managed to stay through to that part. These are the little bit of snippets. Some I forgot to share from a previous week where my girl had been sitting with her older siblings because her other sister is always jumping around, spinning around. And she said, "Mommy, these are my friends. These are my friends." She loves her siblings. She really does. So I'll leave you with their bits of happiness. They make up and create their own happiness. I love those moments. I really do. Oh, and my daughter also began driving quite a while ago. This is just her with her dad. She's done a few lessons professionally. He's just wanting her to get more comfortable and used to being in a car, being on the street. And then we'll continue again with formal lessons soon. That is our little homeschool. Those are the little bit of snippets that I can share. If anything else comes to mind, of course, I will do a voiceover. Have again a good weekend. Be blessed. My teenager sent me this photo. She took the photo. It was sweet, man. The girls don't really interact much. Well, they don't interact much really at all. But our Rio had gone to the freezer, Rati had gone to the freezer to get herself an ice, and her sister was reading a book. And for the first time in I don't know how long, I don't even know if she's ever done it before, but she actually joined her sister and sat next to her sister looking at a book. Our girl doesn't do books. She doesn't care about books. So she sat down next to her sister and she patiently listened while her sister instructed her on everything that she was looking at, telling her who's doing what, pointing to them, and she herself also pointed at whatever her sister was pointing at. Those are the sweet, precious moments. I really wonder what's in our girl's head. I hope one day we'll find out. The pharaoh hat, where it was on her, the front of her, top of her scalp, It was starting to eat away at her hair, so I told her no more pharaoh hat. But she's always had a thing for something on her head. Okay, not always, but in the last year. Whether it'll look funny or not, by hook or by crook, something will be on her head. So this is what she and her 9-year-old sister came up with this time. Life is never boring. Best laid plans. I wanted to end on an high, but that's not how life is. There's no tying it up with a pretty ribbon and it's all gift packed nicely. So when I was done everything and I was finishing off, I had another lovely 40 minutes of screaming and crying and hair pulling. I hope for the rest of us, for all of us this weekend who are parenting challenging children, that we have peace. Be it less destruction, less pain, less noise. I hope that our children find a measure of peace this weekend.